Alrighty, I wanted to do a quick unboxing of this lens that I ordered from KEH. I have been waiting for this lens for a few days now, so I'm going to unbox it here. I'm in an even tighter space than usual today, so please excuse the tight angle. Okay, so here's the outer box. Ooh, very neat. I have a habit of unboxing these things upside down, so let's see how this one goes. Lots of protective covering for what I hope is a small lens. Okay, so that's the first outer pocket. Okay, here it is. Any guesses at this point? Let's take it off here. Oh, look at that. An official KEH lens cap. Or I guess end cap, rather. Okay. Oh, sorry, yes. It is a KEH lens cap as well. The official Sony hood. And this is an older lens. This is a Sony 28mm f2.0. This is kind of one of the original lenses for when Sony was getting into mirrorless cameras. Now I know if you've been watching the channel, you're probably wondering, well, why would I get a 28 when I just bought the Tamron 24mm? Well, that probably gives you an idea right there why I got the 28mm. So let's compare the size. If you recall from the other video, the Tamrons have standardized their filter sizes to 67mm. This is 49mm. So yeah, so the main reason why I got it was for the size. If you saw my video on the safety tips that I posted, you'll know that I'm going back to Europe this summer, to Rome during the Jubilee. There's a lot of popular tourist areas in Rome that are, unfortunately, have a lot of pickpocketers there. But I wanted to take my full frame camera, so my new A7C II, and I wanted to have a small enough package where I can fit it into a pack-safe sling bag, and that's the reason why I got this lens. Okay, so let's get the Sony A7C II and see how it measures up. Alrighty, so here is the Sony A7C II with a Tamron 24mm f2.8. And again, just a size comparison here. And then looking straight down on the camera. Okay, let's swap out the lenses and see if it makes a difference. Okay, yeah, I would say overwhelmingly it does make it a bit smaller. I think really mainly due to the fact that this one uses a 49mm filter instead of the 67. I'm not sure honestly if it's much shorter, but it is definitely less heft given how large the barrel is on the Tamron. So yeah, so it's actually probably not that much shorter, but definitely a lot less girthier, again owing to the fact that it has such a smaller body. Okay, so it is a few probably millimeters, maybe half an inch shorter than the Tamron. So whether or not that kind of space is critical to you, I guess would make a difference as to whether or not you would want the Sony lens. Also, obviously, it's also a 28mm instead of a 24mm. I've said in previous videos that I actually do like having that extra 4mm of width. However, I think for my purposes, as far as being on tour, having to grab this in and out of a bag, and then, you know, for me, coming from Hawaii, you know, carrying a full-frame camera halfway across the world, I think I will appreciate the small size a little bit more than having the full width of a 24mm lens. Okay, so that is the unboxing. If I get a chance to take it out this weekend, I will definitely take some sample pics and let you know how it goes. Okay, change in plans. I was heading to Ala Beach Park to try out the new lens, but two things. First of all, there must have been some event because I couldn't get to the beach park. No matter which way I tried, I was turned around. But it didn't matter anyway because it started raining. So I decided to go across the street to the mall to take some pictures. Now, I know that may sound funny like, oh, I'm heading to the mall to take pictures. But we actually have a very beautiful open air mall in Honolulu called Ala Moana Center. And it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, open air mall in the United States. Anyway, I've taken pictures at this mall before. Like I said, it's very beautiful on the inside, and plus, there always seems to be something interesting to take a picture of. Okay, so let's talk about the pros and cons of the Sony 28mm f2.0. The first pro is that it's compact and lightweight. It also has a fast aperture at 2.0. I also was surprised by how fast the focusing is on this camera. It did miss focus a couple times, but overall it's very fast to focus and it's silent. Finally, being a 10-year-old lens, it's very affordable on the used market. I paid $226 for my copy, and that includes tax and shipping to Hawaii. On to the cons. The first con is that the colors are very dull. There's no other way to put it. I usually add just a little bit of vibrance and a little bit of saturation to my photos, but even adding that usual amount of saturation and vibrance, it just couldn't bring out any colors in these pictures. Also, I think the lens's age is showing. The details are okay, but it's nowhere sharp as the Tamron 24mm. Finally, this could be a con just depending on your perspective, but there is no focus control button on there, and there's no aperture ring either. And so, you know, a lot of the newer cameras have that, even at pretty reasonable price points. So if you're looking for those kinds of features, they're definitely lacking in this lens. So what are my conclusions? If you are looking for an affordable first name lens, I think this lens is still a viable option despite its almost 10 years of age. For me, my primary concern was space and weight. It's definitely a keeper for me. So it looks like this lens is heading to Europe with me. Please subscribe if you want to see the resulting pictures. Also, if you found any of this content useful or entertaining, please consider dropping a like and a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Mahalo.